So a shadow chair is essentially going to be a figurehead that will be the successor, the eventual successor to Jerome Powell once his term's up in May 2026. I know there's a lot of chatter on social media right now of Powell possibly resigning before his term ends. We don't
He's
see
given no
that.
indication that he's prepared
Yeah,
to
we
do that,
don't
though.
we don't
Yeah.
believe that's probably going to be the case. And there's all sorts of talks now of trying to find some sort of corruption charge with some sort of remodel that was going on at the Fed. But let's stick with our base case that for now, Jerome Powell is going to stick with his role at the Fed through May 2026, which leaves us to what could the administration do to kind of short circuit what they consider to be a very hawkish chairman. So what they could do is, as like I said, jump the gun, announce the successor early, and that successor could start to lead market expectations sooner. So that person, he or she, may begin to signal that once they take the position, he or she will try to convince the rest of the committee to lowering rates dramatically. We already know that the committee is pretty split between some hawks and doves, and we saw that in the most recent FOMC minutes. But overall, we're seeing a lot of risks and cracks. You remember our first call this year was for bond vigilantes, and we included kind of an update chart to that with the treasury tail risks. What this chart shows is the fact that we're seeing a lot more tails in the auctions, and what that essentially means is if you look at a treasury auction, they know their market participants pretty well. These aren't your Joe Schmoes that can show up and bid on treasuries. They're the largest banks that are authorized to participate in these dealer auctions. And with each auction, we've seen less appetite. We've seen the tail increase. We've seen kind of a trend for larger tails, which means that they're getting less demand, and the price that the Treasury is actually receiving for when they auction these bonds off is actually below, which is increasing the yield, somewhat.